Steve, episode 15, the Broadway block coming back after 2 games losing streak, 4-1 win against the Flyers. AV didn't look happy. We looked happy. You know who's happy? Chris Kreider on his power play goal. Booch with his 20th goal of the season. Young guys getting some goals out there. Hedel and Laugh with his 9th of the season. Good day for the block. Steve, what did you like about the game? What did you not like?
You mentioned Buch scoring his 20th goal. That's 42 points for Pavel Buchnevich now in 48 games that the Rangers have played on the season, which only makes me think that he'd be on pace for like a 70-point season this year. So great to see from a guy like Buch that always just feels like he's scratching the surface of what his true potentials are. Kreider, again, scoring on the power play, not a goal at even strength for him in quite some time, but
Valakek
good to
called it.
see the production. Yeah. It's funny that it's the likely suspects again, Adam Fox and Artemi Panarin, and one of the only teams with 5+ players at the 40-point mark. So really diversified scoring and the likely suspects for us in that game. One thing I didn't like, again, we're outshot only slightly this time, but it seems to be a trending topic. And again, the faceoff percentages weren't ideal. Mika came in at the 50% mark, which I guess is okay, but everyone else came in well below. So it seems like it's going to be a talking point for them to work on. But the penalties were all taken by the Flyers early in the game, and then we took a turn later in the second, stringing back-to-back penalties with the too many men on the ice, a fighting penalty to Rooney, and then Keandre Miller trips Jacob Voracek midway through the second. But a lot of things to be happy about. I really liked Georgiev's game. He definitely kept us in it.
Georgiev had a great game. I loved what he did. I don't even blame him for that Lindbaum goal in the first period, but they did answer the Flyers right away after that first goal. So really happy how Georgiev played with his 26 saves. Almost got that shutout. If Lindbaum didn't slip that one in, it might not have even gone from Lindbaum or just in the mix there. Another point I liked was, besides, we mentioned Chris Kreider's 20th goal of the year. That's his 11th on the power play, and that's his 6th 20th goal season for the New York Rangers since coming in the league in the playoffs in 2012. So that was very exciting to see. Bad penalty, taking the too many men on the ice, and then Keandre Miller, I think he had a tripping penalty during that. But I was happy at the Rangers power play kill on that, because that could have made the game a game. Laugh looks great out there now. He's really coming into his own in the NHL. I think he's doing a real good job of being patient with the puck. The goal he scored, I think at the beginning of the season, Laugh would have probably just shot right away just to get it in on net. This time he waited patiently, and then he just sneaked it right around Lyon at the end there. So that was great. Another great point of this game was Bruins got a loss. So we actually picked up 2 points on the standings for them. So now we're still 6 points behind them. The Islanders are at 63, Bruins are at 60, we are at 54, and the Flyers are at 49. So looking better for us. Today we play the Sabres, so that's going to be, we don't want to say we could call a trap game, but we really, big guns got to come out for this game coming forward. I think we got Igor and net today. So that should be a win for us. If we're going to make the playoffs, it's a must win.
Absolutely. One of the shining moments again, Fox scores his 43rd point of the season, one above Hedman in the same amount of games played. So Fox continues his excellent season he's been having. And I think you're right about Lafreniere having built that confidence, even on his assist, sort of is being taken down on the ice and just kind of throws the puck, but doesn't just throw it into danger, throws it right onto the tape of Mika, who finds Buch there right in the middle of the ice, or in the crease rather. So another talking point was we had mentioned Buch's fantastic season, but I love the way he sold that shot like he was going to pass across the crease. and then just takes one more look back at line and roofs it above him. So great goal by Booch. Both him and Kreider now at the 20 goal mark. Like I said, you can only imagine what this would be over a 82 game season. Some notes from some Rangers not yet playing in a Rangers jersey. Matthew Robertson has 16 points with a goal in his last game in 17 games played. And Braden Schneider now scores the OT winner, had an assist in the game as well for 23 points in 20 games played. Our first round pick and second round pick of the last draft. So nice to see. Yeah, these defensive prospects, man. We're starting to really be overwhelmed now with Jones and some of these guys playing well, with Keandre and Fox and you name it. We have such a young core of D that I'm really excited to see one day play for us. One little thing about the game that was a little scary watching it, 2 posts when it was 2-1. So this game definitely could have gone either way. And Georgiev had a few saves that he stretched right across his crease and made a robbery of a save. So
he robbed Voracek of that one.
Unreal.
Even Voracek like gave him a little tip to his helmet, like, you got me.
Yeah. And Georgiev now starting to play a little bit more like he did last season, right? And starting to remind everybody who led the Rangers in wins last year.
Number 2.
Exactly. And he's got a couple wins in a row now here. So good to see Georgiev battling back. It's got to be so frustrating if you're him to not really have solidified that spot in the middle of the year with Igor going down and Kincaid getting starts. So it's great to see him starting to build his confidence back and keep it to only 1 goal with a .963 save percentage in that game. So
one point I want to bring up besides all the positives of that game was first positive point was when Hayes took that hooking penalty on Howden, we capitalized right away, which if we're going to play playoff hockey, when they give us a penalty in the first period, we got to capitalize on it every time. We had another penalty on the Provorov penalty, and we didn't look very good on that penalty. We didn't win many faceoffs, not many shots on goal. I think they had a couple counters on us then. So we really need to still, like you've been mentioning in the previous episodes, step up our power play, and we also got to step up our faceoffs. These are 2 things that are going to hurt us when we play a team like the Islanders or one of these other teams that are in playoff position. We have to play them and make sure we're getting these opportunities down in the offensive zone, winning these faceoffs and throwing shots on net. That I think it's if we had Trouba, he's always on the second line on the power play. He always is a person to throw to the net, make something happen. So we obviously have been hurting on missing him. You mentioned we are lucky that we have a lot of defensive prospects that we can bring up and throw in there. And Hayek's been filling in for until we get one of these other guys in. I think we're probably going to leave him exposed in the expansion draft. But it's great that we have all these prospects coming up. So I really think today we don't fall to the trap game. We got to win these faceoffs and we got to capitalize on these penalties. If they give us 4, we got to at least get 3.
Well, so like to tack on to what you said about like the shoot first mentality off of the defense. One of the things about shooting the puck on net is that, yes, you're looking for a rebound opportunity and sometimes there's a deflection. You never know what's going to happen. Just throw it on the net, right? One of the little microcosms of that being effective is that at the worst case, the goalie stops the puck and you get a face off, right? So it lets you tee up one of these set plays, if you will, where a guy like Panarin drifts over to like the OV office and all within 4 seconds, you can materialize an opportunity. So one of the most frustrating things about, we bring it up a lot about the faceoff percentages, but the reason I harp on it is you can guarantee that some of these top dog teams have set plays off the faceoff where they can materialize offense in a really small window of time. And if you're just putting pucks on net, just to put pucks on net, that's fine. If you get a deflection, you get a screen, rebound, what have you. But a big part of that is knowing that maybe the goalie stops the puck and now you get a face off onto their weaker side or their stick side or whatever it is. And you can line up maybe a left-handed shot or whatever the situation is to try to capitalize on that sustained pressure. So that's a big element, I think, of the Rangers game that, yes, the shoot first mentality is sometimes there, but not being able to capitalize on those faceoffs. not winning them in general, but then not being able to set up one of these one-time plays is
Plus,
a big element of their game.
when the other team knows that they're going to win the faceoff percentage, then they're just going to, the goalie's going to hold. We're going to get a faceoff in the offensive zone. They're just going to clear the puck because they're going to win it. So it's just going to kill the penalty on us.
Right. It becomes a deficit rather than being an advantage. So it's definitely something that I feel like is going to be worked on in the future, or at least has to. And it begs the question, do we go out and try to get one of those top line centers like a Barkov or an Eichel, or I've heard Larkin thrown into the mix to try to solidify not only that position for us, but solidify that big aspect that I think is missing from us.
Couldn't agree more. Couple fun articles I read that the Rangers in the offseason were in the market for a veteran defenseman. I saw that we were like runners up in the Zdeno Chara signing. He chose the Capitals over us, but Gorton was right there trying to make it happen. So it's interesting to see with all these prospects. Obviously, they want to bring in someone other than Trouba in a leadership role to come in and show these guys what's going on. So it's interesting to see. That article also mentioned that the Rangers would be looking this year for a veteran defenseman. Obviously, we didn't like the contracts we had with Stahl, so we're probably going to look for veteran defensemen with a better, maybe a 1 year or a 2 year deal. So do you see anybody?
You mean Jack Johnson wasn't our first pick?
You didn't even make it the whole season, Steve.
No, look, I think that it's tough because obviously defense wins games, and it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. But I think with it being our strong suit, you can't exactly afford to be linked, like you said, to a Stahl that's going to take up a big amount of your cap space, or do so for a long period of time. All jokes aside, the Johnson signing is something that I can actually get behind, only because you're giving somebody another opportunity to prove something. It was only $1 million, for a year. So there's really low risk in that contract.
Did anybody pick him up on waivers?
I know. And he had an injury that he had a surgery on. So they'll probably just wait until the season's over and his contract will be expired. But yeah, I'd like to think that some of these young guys just take over the role. I know you can't just have a team of just kids, but hopefully with a healthy Trouba and Fox playing well above his years, that you can maybe just slide into the season. Personally, I think I'm kind of over the Hayek experiment. I think, like you said, we definitely leave him exposed, and I think he's on a entry level technically deal still. So I don't know if he actually gets exposed or if he's an automatic inclusion, but I don't think you worry about him in the future as much as you got much more promising prospects to look forward to. So
agreed. All right, so we got Igor and net tonight, I believe, if I see everything that they're posting now. Big game for us, Steve. We gotta get Igor back on track with these wins, and because we got, after the Sabres series, we got the Islanders, so we got to get Igor back on track. We got to not fall to the trap game, and we got to get this win. Doesn't matter how. We need these 2 points.
Absolutely. There was a stretch there where we played 8-1-1 for a 10-game stretch. So with the amount of games remaining in the season right now, that's about what we'd have to do. Play on that voice.
Probably like they were like 8-0-1 on that.
Yeah. So we need them to play 500, and we need to play the way that we were a couple games ago. So.
All right. Well, I think that does it for episode 15. Let's go Rangers tonight, baby. We got a 6 o'clock game. They gave it to us an hour early. We got to like it.
Yeah, I might be able to actually catch this one live. I'll be cheeking a look at work today, but I'll record it too. I'll talk to you soon, Joe.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Later, brother.
Bye-bye.